Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chad with CD Shave, and thank you very much for joining me for today's sample and a shave. Today's sample and a shave is brought to you by Mr. Jason Lonseth. Sent me this sample a while ago. This is Uno. We had a sample of the aftershave. A sample of the soap is made by Ariana and Evans. It is a tallow-based soap. Before we get into that, let's get into the holiday of the day. Today's holiday of the day is National Encourage a Young Writers Day. Since I just picked up Fine Art of Journaling, I got myself a journal and a nice fountain pen. I have quite enjoyed it, and I suggest anybody that gets a chance to encourage a young writer to do so. It is definitely important. It's a good way to get thoughts out onto paper, maybe feelings or emotions, whatever. And it's a good way to handle things, especially with nowadays happening. So that's the holiday of the day. Encourage a young writer today. Anyway, so moving on to the shave of the day. So we have this Uno soap. Again, it is a tallow-based soap. It was a collab that was done. It's been out for a while. It's a collab that was done by Ariana and Evans of Dallas and Grey Matter Parfum. Anyway, so it is currently sold out on, from what I could find on their website. However, it is available at NagardRazors.com. There's the label of the soap right there, which I obviously don't have. It is $22.50, and you can get it as a 4-ounce container. Comes in a, from what I understand, a basic plastic tub with a screw top lid, waterproof label. And it's, according to the website, it's classified as a barbershop. I have smelled this before, and God, I got to tell you, when I think this is an awesome scent, but I don't get barbershop off it. I don't really see. I mean, it's a great scent, but it's not to me like barbershops. To me, I get like I always think of powdery type of notes, that type of thing. This is, I don't get much powder off of this at all. Oh, it's such a good scent. The notes on it are bergamot, vetiver, leather, geranium, lavender, patchouli. It's just a it's basically I pick up the bergamot right off. I mean, I'm always, but the leather jumps right in there along with patchouli, excuse me, and it just works. It's hard. This is a very difficult scent to describe, other than it's kind of like it's almost like a fruity. It's a fruity leather scent in a way, I guess. I know I'm not doing a very good job of describing this, but the scent notes on it are fantastic. The scent strength on it, as far as I'm concerned, put it up there around, I'd say a good 7 or 8, at least for me. So it is also the aftershave. Again, is from what I saw, was sold out. I didn't check to see if it was available on Naggard Razors. I'm sure they sell it if it is. It's also $22.50. Now, for the rest of the gear, we're going to be mowing up the head. This is a head shave, by the way. We're using the Yaqui Beast head on the West Coast shaving handle. I'm going with a different type of blade today. This is Sputnik. I have not used these. I've had this pack for a while. I was sitting on it from Jason's brother, Matt Lonseth, sent this to me a while ago. And I'm going to give these a shot today. So we're going to go ahead and open these up just for a quick second here, so I can show you what they look like. Again, this is my very first time using these. I have used Ariana and Evans and the club stuff hundreds of times. That I know how their performance is for me, and all the stuff is there, the basics that you'd need, you know, to get a good shave out of it, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm really not reviewing the performance as I am about the product, the scent and everything else. There's just basically this blade, though, comes in a standard, what I call a gum wrapper, which is essentially what it is. Nothing really to write home about the blade itself. It just, that's what it looks like. And it says Sputnik on it. It's very difficult to read, but who really cares what the blade itself looks like? We're going to go ahead and pop this right in our razor here. We are going to be doing a bowl lather today. Right here, we'll put the soap right into that. Here we go. All loaded up, lined up for what it's worth. Heck of a gap on these things. For me, these are a very aggressive head. They're described as being an aggressive head on their website. Some people probably would say otherwise, you know, because everybody's different. But for me, they're aggressive. All right. As far as the brush is concerned, we got it soaking in our occupation mug right there. And we are soaking our EB Lathe Works. This is my brush. It was made specifically for me. I call it Autumn Bliss because it's got autumn colors in it. Excuse me. Look at the beauty in that. Just reminds me of leaf peeping season. Anyway, it's badger hair, and I have it soaking there today. So we'll go ahead, put some water into our bowl. Get the shave happening. We get the soap. Kind of a brownish consistency. I'm going to take about that much. Not going to go too crazy, but I want enough to mess with it and try to get it to do what I want it to do. All right. Take this brush. I'm going to wring it out a little bit here. It's damp. All right. Throw a little bit more water in there and let's start lathering, shall we? Or loading and lathering. I guess you could say this is loading. I mean, I'm not really loading because I'm not trying to get it to stay in the brush. Oh, I did forget to mention for the after the shave, we do have, as I said, I showed you earlier, a sample of the aftershave for Uno, and I've got a, of course, the JD Thayer's Witch Hazel. And we got a razor right here, ready to go. Hope everybody's doing well. Now this brush knot is the Lux knot from EB Lathe Works. It is badger, and I'm mostly a synthetic person, but this badger brush knot is very, very nice. It doesn't have a ton of backbone. And the thing I've found with backbone, I mean, I get it's necessary at times. I find that it's necessary with like really, really hard soaps. This is not a hard soap. I also found that this thing works very, very well. Every brush I found has like its specialty, things that it's good for. And this brush seems to do really, really well with bowl lathering. So I tend to save it for that. Man, the scent on this. This is how we're doing so far. And it's really, really nice. Just kind of, I'm overdoing it with the lather a little bit here because I'm trying to see, you know, how it does in regards to the scent, and plus it's a little frothy right now. I don't have that yogurt consistency. See how I don't know if you can see the air bubbles. I like it a little. It's getting there, but I like it a little bit more solid, dense. I don't like my lathers frothy at all. You know, I'm not making a I'm not a barista, I'm making a drink. Yep, just about used all that sample. Finish mixing it in here, and the brush is shedding a little bit. All right, That's much better than it was. So still, I could probably add a little more soap to this. It's a little bit on the overhydrated side for me, but that's not the soap, that's me. I just put too much water in it. Whatever, it'll still shave just fine, I'm sure. All right, head shave we get going on here. A little water on the head. I'm not going to focus too much on water on the head because this particular lather is already hydrated enough. Now, this is one of those soaps that, for me, can take a ton of water, and this is actually, I'm glad I put a little bit too much water in this, because this is one of those things that, like, Peter has one of those soaps that can take a lot of abuse. If you put too much water in it, it will still shave just fine. At least it does for me. And this is a little bit more water than I tend to like, due to my own hand. But I will still get an excellent shave out of it, because his stuff is definitely, you get what you pay for, you know what I mean? Yeah, this is more sudsy than I like. That's all right. We'll get a good shave out of it. All right. First pass, always with the grain. So, a couple of things I wanted to touch on. No gripes, just interesting topic points. I'm in quite a few shave groups, and I saw some topics come up recently, and I thought, that's a good point. Oh yeah, this is, and I have a ton of hair to take off. I know it doesn't look like it, but I do. I haven't done a head shave in a couple of days. So one of the topics I saw was somebody put up there, which I thought was pretty interesting, or something I definitely haven't discussed in a while. And the person asked, and I really want to give credit where credit's due, but I don't recall the person's name, and I don't even recall which group it was. So if you're watching and you say, hey, that was me, sorry I didn't mention you. I just don't recall the information. I don't want to put the wrong person's name out there. So anyway, the topic anyway was, what is everybody going for their, what's their go-to for the razor and blade combinations? What is your typical something that you pretty much you're always going to get a good shave with, something that's always going to do well by you, for the most part, with a few exceptions here and there. And for me, I actually liked that topic a lot. So I'm going to hijack it a little bit, and because I wanted to comment on it, and I couldn't. I had other things I needed to do, and I never got back to it. So I wanted to kind of follow up with that. And oh man, jeez, that's nice. God, that stuff, his stuff never fails. It never fails. Anyway, I wanted to touch on that because for me, honestly, my go-to for shaving equipment, or for a razor and blade combination, is a Mule R41. For me, it is such a smooth shaver. So that combined with a Persona Red right now. These blades for the Sputnik are pretty nice. That first pass on using those, I thought it shaved pretty well. No tugging or anything like that. It's sharp. I would compare it to probably for me, I'd compare it to like a Shark. One of the Shark blades. A lot of people say that the Sharks are like crazy sharp. It's not the smoothest blade I've ever felt, but this is just the first pass too. So we'll see how that goes. Scent strength on this, staying the way it is. man, I definitely, this is one of those ones I'm going to be adding to my list. Yeah, this is way too many suds here, but I don't care. So you see how you can see like my skin a little bit through it? That's, for me, I don't like that. I like a nice pasty coat. And however, having said that, this is not shaveable. This will shave just fine. I'm just saying this is just my personal preference. And again, that's all done at my own hand. Had nothing to do with the soap. So, I'd be interested to see what other people's thoughts were on this. If you guys haven't already exhausted yourselves with the topic on the shave group, whatever it was. I just thought it was a really, really good question. And, you know, so I remember when I first started out, I had the Goldilocks of combinations, and it was the Razor Rock. It was Tordenshell, I think it was. It was their cheaper version of their slant bar. I had that and an Astra, and that was my go-to for a long time. That was my Goldilocks razor blade combination. And if you would ask me at the time, you know, do I really need any other razors, I would have told you no. I would have said, nope, that's perfectly fine for me. And then eventually I stopped getting good shaves out of it. And I'm really not exactly sure why. I don't know if my technique improved or worsened. And I ended up going to back to straight ones with open comb, and started playing around with those a little bit, and I found that I was getting better shaves with those. And then eventually I went to straight razor shaving. So, and I'm talking just safety razor. Straight razor is kind of a different ball game. I have different straights. I do have my go-tos for those, but I'm talking about just safety razor at this point. And I always use a safety razor on my head. I've never used a straight razor on my head, and there are people that do. I am definitely not one of them. So, having said that, what's yours? What is your Goldilocks razor blade combination? The other thing too is I also feel that you can have different razors for different needs. There are times, I won't use this because it is so aggressive, and if I need to shave because I need to shave, even though I don't have a ton of hair, but I don't want something super aggressive, I will go with like a Gillette Slim where I can dial it down, or my Rockwell adjustable, something adjustable that I can dial it down with. So, I understand that there can be different razor combinations for different folks for different situations. I just wanted to know what is your go-to, your basic Goldilocks that this just works pretty much all the time. So that would be for me. The other topic too, I think this was brought up by Chris Benetti, I think. In fact, I'm almost sure it was him. And I apologize if I butcher your name, dude. You know I love you. So, anyway, shedding. So one of the things that was brought up on one of the shave groups for him, he asked if you look forward to mail calls more since the health crisis. I thought that was an interesting question, because my initial response to that was no. And meaning that I didn't put it on there. I just thought about it, and I said, I don't see what the difference is. But then I was thinking about it, and I've gotten some mail calls since all hell broke loose. And, yeah, I think I was more excited. I mean, I was excited about these particular ones for different reasons. But I did find myself looking forward to these mail calls for a little bit more than usual. And I'm sure there's a bunch of reasons for that, but for me, it's just I can't get as much as I want right now. One, I'm trying to save money, and two, I know that like certain things that I want that are non-shaving related that are on Amazon, you just can't get right now because you can get it, but it's just significantly delayed because they've altered their shipping practices due to essential items, and so I'm not getting. Some things I don't bother with because I'm like, you know what, I'm going to leave that alone and let the people get what they need to get instead of me clogging up the works with something I really don't need. Wow. So it's not the smoothest blade I've ever used, but it's getting the job done. There's no doubt about that. Thought I was shedding. Guess I'm not. Anyway, so yeah, I was just curious if you guys, any mail calls that you may have gotten, are you looking forward to it more? Again, these two topics are not my topics. I definitely grabbed them from somebody else because I thought they were interesting. I liked the idea behind it. I thought it was a good conversation starter, and I thought, those are some good points. So my answer is I do. I have been looking forward to my mail calls a little bit more than usual, I guess. So my question for you will be, what do you think? So I think I just repeated myself. Sorry about that. Concentrating on what I'm doing here. Against the grain. Moving the ear. So it's going to be interesting too to see how the current events affect the wet shaving industry. Not so much in people in regards to people to business per se. I'm talking about product, because some of the product that people are using, the ingredients, or the people that are making the ingredients, are, from what I'm hearing, are becoming harder and harder to come by. So that makes me wonder if you'll see down the road people altering formulas, out of necessity, really, more than anything else. So we'll see. That's kind of looking further down. So let's see here. Yeah, this is an amazing scent. I really like this. I might actually pick this up sooner rather than later. There's a lot of stuff. I have a huge wish list, right? I've got tons of stuff on it. And whenever I get paid, I try to go through it and say, what can I grab that, what can I grab this week? And like, oh, I really wanted that one, or I really wanted this one. And, but this one I think is going to go to the top for me. Assuming I can get it. I mean, it's out of stock. I don't know about the aftershave, but the soap itself was out of stock on A&E Grooming, but it's available at Maggard's, so maybe I'll pick it up from there. Whew. Wow. A little bit of sandpapery here, a little bit of sandpapery there. Other than that, we're looking good. All right, let's pull the soap out of here so you can take a look at this. So those are still some pretty good peaks. It's still a little air bubbly, as you can see. See what I did there? I put too much water in this. It's not, just the density is not there, but that's the thing. The viscosity is. So that's a soap, man. That's a, you do something to a soap, you beat the crap out of it, which I just did unintentionally, and it can take it. Let's face it, you have good lather days and bad lather days, and sometimes you get it spot on, other times you're like, wow, that really sucked. What did I do there? And I have those days sometimes, and I happen to overlather it or overwater it, but this soap can take that, and it's because it's shaving just fine. I'm totally. The razor is still gliding. There's plenty of residual slickness. I just, lather wise, I like it a little bit thicker, and for me, some other people have said that they like their lathers on the thin side. For me, it's like pizza, right? I don't generally like thin crust pizza. I feel like I'm eating pizza off a cracker. Afterwards I don't feel very. If I'm gonna eat a pizza, I'm gonna eat a pizza. I don't need like the Sicilian style where it's like the size of a mattress, but nice thick crust. And I think I did like deep dish pizza day the other day. It's holiday of the day, I believe. And I like a thick lather, and I like my thick crust pizza. But yeah, I think we're gonna call it on this one. This is good. Rinse the head a little bit. I'm really interested to see how that aftershave is gonna perform. I'm sure it'll perform fine. I'm just curious what the scent is gonna be like. Witch hazel. Well, yeah, geez, even throwing that witch hazel, I can feel the moisture like still slick. So I'll give that a minute to dry. We'll wring out the brush here. So as far as the performance in this soap, you can't, in my opinion, you just can't go wrong with these guys. Obviously, they're not on the cheaper side. You can get a good performing soap for less money than what they're offering. That said, if you happen to have yourself with a few extra dollars and you say, I'd really like to get one of theirs, just do it. I mean, it's really, to me, they're a good soap. They're a good performer, and they are worth the money. And they've got so many different scents to choose from, especially or between both the Club and A&E. Between the two of them, their scents are all generally pretty strong in my book, and they've got a lot to choose from. All set with that, so you're bound to find something you like. This stuff is just. I tend to be a cologne soap or a cologne scent person. And he has a lot of those, but he does a lot of his own stuff, which is really, really nice too. So, all right, aftershave time. I've done a lot of talking. I think this video is gonna be over 30 minutes. So, those of you that don't like that, tough. Those of you that do, you're welcome. Go. Jason, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to try this. Okay, I get more leather on this. But let's see what the dry down is like. Dry down is for those of you that don't, I'm going to throw it on my face too. The dry down is when the aftershave starts to evaporate a little bit. And so a lot of times you'll get a different scent. Oh, wow. Yeah, it does, for me it's a little bit different than the soap, but again, it's still kind of, I just put it up there, so we'll see. But as far as the scent goes, yeah, I'm getting more leather. I get that bergamot. It's not quite as sweet as the soap, but it's definitely. Oh my god, it smells good though. I like it. Again, it's another slam dunk for me from this company. I cannot get enough of their stuff. And they, back in the day, Peter never used to do samples. He does now through. I don't know if he does it through his website, but I know he offers it through Maggard. And they even said on this particular ad or this offering, it says right there, samples are available. So if you want to give them a shot, grab a sample. So as far as this blade is concerned, Sputnik. So I've never used these guys before, as I mentioned. This is the first time ever. I thought it was a good blade. I would compare it to Shark. Not quite like Feather. I would say that they're not as smooth as Feather for me, which I understand a lot of people like Feather and smooth just don't go together, but for me they do. I would compare this to a Shark. Sharks for me are extremely sharp, not all that smooth, but they definitely can plow through a lot of hair if you've got it on there. And you get a good soap, and you got good technique. You got a blade like a Shark will definitely get the job done, and this is in that same category for me. So will I use that blade again? Yep, I absolutely will. In fact, I'm going to put it aside and just see how it feels on a second and third shave. If I get 3 shaves out of this blade, I'm fine. I'm not one of those people that likes to push a blade, for 100 shaves or whatever, just to see what I can do for that. I just don't. It's for me, I get 3 shaves out of something, I'm good. I don't try to push it beyond that. Blades are recyclable and they're cheap enough that I get 3. I don't want to push to see. Oh well, that last shave was not that good. I'm going to ditch the blade now. I don't want to wait until I get a crappy shave to decide that I need to replace the blade. I do it before that. So for me. So that was. We're all cleaning up here, just getting all the stuff out of my. The only thing about this head is the teeth there. You get a lot of crap in between. So I tend to hit that with a toothbrush every week or so because I use this blade or this head a lot. And there we are. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that is the shave. We are at DOP status, Dome of Perfection. No nicks, cuts, areas of irritation, razor bumps, smooth as glass, as you can see. Feels great too. I needed that. So what a fantastic shave, and the scent on this aftershave is just wonderful. It is now absolutely raining cats and dogs outside, and it's a good time to just stay in. Maybe throw some burgers on the George Foreman and call it a night. So, all right, that is the shave, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any questions or any comments, please put it in the comments section below, or feel free to PM me if you want to. I am on Instagram as well as Facebook. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe, please do so. But make sure you knock that bell. That way you get a notification every time we do a new video here at CD Shaving, because I do not follow a schedule. Folks, I am Chad. Thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see you guys and girls in the next video.